Have you ever stopped and wondered? What actually makes a younger woman a great match for a man like you? Not just attractive. Not just fun. But genuinely right, long term. Today, we're talking about the real green flags. The quiet signs of high value. The traits that build healthy, lasting relationships. And stay until the end. Because one final insight ties everything together. 1. Independence. When a woman doesn't reorganize her entire life around you, that's not distance, that's stability. Psychologically, independence signals secure attachment. She regulates her own emotions. She doesn't look for a relationship to give her identity or direction. I've seen men confuse constant availability with genuine desire, only to realize later they were dating dependency, not choice. A woman who keeps her routines, her goals, her rhythm is telling you something important. If she stays, it's intentional. Warren Buffett once said that the best partnerships are formed when both people are already standing strong. When you recognize this trait, you don't try to control it. You strengthen your own life and allow attraction to exist in freedom, not fear. 2. Emotional maturity. When tension shows up and she lowers her voice instead of raising it, you're watching emotional discipline in action. This isn't personality, it's regulation. She can feel deeply without letting emotion hijack the moment. In real relationships, this appears during conflict. No dramatics, no threats, just clarity. I've watched immature couples fight to win, while emotionally mature ones talk to understand, and quietly come out stronger. Oprah Winfrey once said that emotional self-control is a form of power few people master. A woman who has it doesn't drain your energy. She steadies it. When you see this, you don't push boundaries, you protect the calm. 3. Growth mindset. When she talks about what she's learning instead of what she's missing, you're seeing forward momentum. Psychologically, this reflects resilience. Failure doesn't threaten her identity, it sharpens it. I've seen relationships stall because one person stopped growing and began resenting anyone who hadn't. A woman committed to growth doesn't fear change. She invites it, and the relationship moves with her. Psychologist Carol Dweck showed that people with a growth mindset experience less fear because mistakes don't define them. When you notice this trait, you don't compete with it. You align with it, and let her curiosity reignite your own. 4. Confidence and self-assurance. When she doesn't over-explain herself, doesn't seek approval, doesn't shrink to be liked, that's internal validation. This kind of confidence is quiet, economical, grounded. In everyday life, it shows up as boundaries. She says no without guilt. She doesn't negotiate her self-respect. Men often feel more at ease around women like this because there's no emotional guessing game to manage. Michelle Obama once said confidence comes from knowing who you are and standing there calmly. When you recognize this, you don't try to impress. You show up honestly. Self-assurance recognizes its own. 5. Balance in relationships. When she doesn't disappear into the relationship, and doesn't pull you into obsession, that's balance. Psychologically, this is differentiation. Staying connected without losing yourself. I've seen good relationships erode slowly because of imbalance. One person overgives, the other over-relies. A woman who keeps her identity intact makes intimacy safer, not suffocating. Therapist Esther Perel often says desire survives where individuality is preserved. When you notice this balance, you don't demand more time. You value the quality of presence when it's offered. 6. Adventurous and open to experience. When she suggests something new, not reckless, just unfamiliar, you're seeing psychological openness. This trait is strongly linked to adaptability and long-term satisfaction. In real life, it's the difference between a relationship that narrows over time and one that keeps expanding. New places, new ideas, new ways of approaching old problems. Anthony Bourdain once said that openness changes you permanently, and that's the point. When you recognize this trait, you don't resist change, you participate selectively, staying grounded while letting life stay alive. 7. Gratitude and appreciation. When she notices effort without demanding more, that's gratitude rooted in perspective. Psychologically, grateful people experience lower entitlement and higher relationship satisfaction. I've seen couples with everything still feel empty, and others with very little feel rich. The difference was appreciation. A woman who values small moments stabilizes the emotional climate of the relationship. Marcus Aurelius wrote that happiness depends on the quality of your thoughts. Gratitude trains those thoughts daily. When you see this trait, you don't take it for granted. You slow down. You meet it with presence. Strength isn't found in control. It's found in clarity and calm choices. If this video helped you see more clearly, subscribe to Silent Stoic. So each day, you become stronger, steadier, and more grounded. Which of these traits matters most to you, and why? Leave a comment. Stillness begins with awareness.